Hello, Dave. Today is Sunday, June 19th. Happy Father's Day, everybody. I am the Bro 9000, and I trust you are all functioning well today. Hello, everybody. I am Mr. Brown, and welcome to the stream. I trust you are all very well today. We will be discussing the musings, pop culture, bollocks. So, a lot to get through. One of the guests is at death's door, so we need to kind of get out of Dodge before he dies live on air. I'm sure it'd be good for the viewing figures, but not good for him. So, shall we get on with it? Let's get the guests out then. Let's get the bodies out. They're in the green room. Let's get on with it. So, first up, we see the conflict within our next guest. There's good inside him. It's the Dark Sith Lord, COVID. Hello.
Hello. There is neither conflict nor good in me. It is just pure coronavirus, which is also explaining the mute button.
I would say, are you well?
No, I'm not. Thank you. How are you?
Yeah, I'm not bad, mate. I will say you're taking one for the team. You're a team player, my friend.
Yeah, well, I can't die on this stream because I have to find some way of dying on my own. So hopefully I'll survive this
Well,
one.
it's usually my job to die on every stream, but you know, anyway. So channel going well, my friend?
Channel is going nicely, yes. Then backstage, I'm hoping Obi-Wan will take us pretty much to around 10,000 by the time this is finished, I think.
Wow.
Hopefully. So obviously it depends. I have to do at least one more half decent video on it first. But yeah, it's been a terrible program, but it's been quite good for people pointing out how terrible it is. So
I was just saying to Matt Cat, Obi and Disney is the gift that keeps giving.
yeah, I mean, it's still one that I wish I could take back, but yeah.
Yes. Oh, never mind. Good for the viewing figures, though. You know what my next question is, don't you, Lord?
Shall we get the next guest out?
I think we should. Next up, he's back for more punishment. Taking time out from his Father's Day duties, it is the great Matt Cat 83.
What's up, nerds?
Hey, pal, you're right.
I'm good. I'm a lot better than Lord Short over there.
He doesn't sound too good, does he?
No, and I feel bad for him. But his channel's doing great, so there's a positive, I guess.
Is your channel doing great?
Yeah, mine's fine. It's fine. It's not as good as Lord Short's over there. They're killing it. I'm so happy for them.
I don't think. I think it's the premier channel on YouTube at the moment, isn't it?
For sure, I wouldn't disagree with that. It's they do some really great things over there. Very smart, very smart.
Talking bollocks, but
just the accent, really.
It's the accent that does it, isn't it? Yes.
Is that all I got to do? Is just be like, "Oh, cheerio, mate," and I'll get like 10,000 subscribers.
That's basically it. Yeah, that's
cheers and bangers to y'all and all that.
Bangers to y'all.
You know what my next question is, Matt?
Is it? Do I have COVID?
Well, no, you don't.
I don't. It's do you want to get that on the next guest?
I think we should.
Okay,
do it. Next, he's the jester from Leicester. Watch out, War and Peace. The book will be finished eventually. It's Swap Shop.
Oh, hello, gentlemen. How are we all doing tonight?
Good.
I'm doing good.
Apart from Ben, I think I know how we all doing. Yeah. Good to see you again, Matt Cat, and of course you two Brown. And Ben's muted, obviously. His voice sounds a lot like mine at the moment, or my voice sounds a lot like his, because I spent most of the last night shouting over loud music, so I'm still suffering.
Oh, enjoying yourself.
Yeah, a little bit. It was good though. It was really good. But so is being on this stream and talking bollocks about pop culture. So
we will assume that when we see the mute symbol on Lord Chord's avatar, that
He's having a coughing fit.
is yeah. So
Yes, it's
we'll leave
coughing.
him alone at that moment.
Coughing, blowing my nose, vaping, possibly all three at the same time.
man, you should be on camera. That'd be great.
You know what my next question is, don't you, Swappers?
Shall we get the lads out for the tits?
We should do, yes. Okay, next. I will say last but not least, back from his international travels, it's the wise elder of the channel, the writer, the portal, the director, paid up member of the Selfridges Appreciation Society. He is the great mega geek himself. It's Ian David Diaz.
Hi, sorry. I had to mute on. Yeah, I haven't got COVID, by the way. Yeah. Anyway, I'm here. Thank you. Thank you
You're
very
right, pal?
much. Yeah, I'm okay. I'm all right. What are we talking about today, then?
Good vacation.
That was brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. As I said, I mean, it just coincided with the meetup, but I was there a week before the meetup, enjoying Texas. Well, enjoying Dallas, put it that way. Yeah, I had a great time, man. I went to South Fork Ranch, where Dallas was shot. Yeah, man, and went on the tour of the JFK thing. It was absolutely brilliant. Ate some brisket. Yeah,
Beef.
Brisket's great.
yeah. And ate some, what is it, barbecue and all the stuff. Met a lot of people. A few of my friends over there. It was great. I met Rennie over there. She's brilliant. She was a great host.
She is.
She was. Yeah. So it was all good. All good, mate.
So you're infused and ready.
What do you mean infused? What does that mean?
Full of energy, enthusiastic.
No, I'm still suffering from jet lag, but I'm on this stream, so
Oh, is it middle of the afternoon?
Yeah. Well, yeah. No,
Late night. Late night last night.
No, it's easy. Yeah. When I went to Dallas, I traveled back in time, so it was 4 hours. I think it was 4 hours back. So yeah, but yeah, no. I'm okay.
Question. Jonathan Frost. Hello, Jonathan. How did you like our 100+ degree weather, Ian?
Oh my God, it was hot. I'll tell you how it felt, right? When I stepped out the airport, it was like there were like 10 people around you with hair dryers put on, hot all around you. That's what it felt like. It was absolutely ridiculous. It really was. And I remember me and my sister was walking down the road, and there was hardly anybody in the street, and we were like, how come there's nobody in the street? In London, this would be packed. But suddenly realized it was because of the heat, man. It was just so warm. You saw a few people, but a lot of people in cars and stuff like that. But, not like London.
Is it humid or dry heat? I'm assuming it's
humid, right? But when the air, when you got a wind, the wind is hot. It's not cold at all. It's just like really warm wind hitting you. Wow. It just makes matters worse. Starbucks was my friend. Every time I saw a Starbucks, I went in there.
Every time I saw a picture of you, you had a Starbucks in your
hand.
I
know. I'm telling you, it was crazy.
Absolutely it's an orange one this time. Oh, no, it's a cherry-coloured one. Oh.
Yeah. It was great.
So you had a great time. Okay, right, let's get into it. End of week musings, Sunday, June 19th, 2022. Episode 72. My God, 72. Wow. Mr. Brown Alliance, please like, share, subscribe, all the usual. Okay, so we'll go through what we've been watching this week. So this dropped recently, called Pistol. Who's seen it?
I have.
I'm out. I haven't.
This looks like a thing from a long time before I was born.
I'm going to catch up with this week. Matthew, would you like to explain to the folks at home what Pistol is?
It is a Danny Boyle directed adaptation based on the story of the 1970s band the Sex Pistols. and it's just been made recently in the last couple of years, I think, and been now airing on FX, which is owned by Disney. So therefore, it's on a Disney Plus channel, bizarrely, because it's full of like the worst swear words you can possibly imagine, full of violence, full of blood, very, very uncouth behavior, and very, very enjoyable as well.
This is a scripted show?
It is, yeah.
Hmm.
It's this historical drama, I guess you could say, or historical comedy drama, but it's a 6-episode series based on real events.
It's 1970s, isn't it? The Sex Pistols.
Yeah,
As you
yeah,
said, yeah.
76, 77, 78, that kind of era. Yeah.
I am really entertained by the idea that the fate of the punk movement has been to get biopics done and hosted on Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Like fucking anti-corporations, but no. No, here they are now on Disney. I just imagine that there must have caused like a brain explosion of rage when they knew this was happening.
Yeah, it seems weird. It really seems bizarre. When you're actually watching it, you have to remind yourself that it's airing on Disney Plus. It's crazy.
Because this would this have been commissioned by Disney?
I don't know, to be honest.
Well, in the old days, it was Disney had a special channel for adult stuff, didn't it? I can't remember what a special production company. I can't remember what it was called.
Is it Buena Vista or something?
That's something like no, that was another. I can't remember. Oh, Touchstone. It was Touchstone, wasn't it?
Okay.
Oh, Touchstone Pictures, yeah.
Yeah, because they made Splash, which is kind of slightly adult with the naked woman running around everywhere and stuff like that. So everything went through Touchstone, didn't it? I don't believe does Touchstone still exist? I don't know.
No, I don't know.
I don't think so. I've not seen it recently, no.
But Disney doesn't care now, so they just put anything on Disney now, don't they? It doesn't really stand for family or anything.
No, they just have to get their subs up, don't they?
When was Fox bought by Disney? Do we know?
I don't know. I'll have to ask because Culture Casino, he knows all that stuff. He knows the business end, doesn't he?
Yeah, it's a few years ago now, but they bought up like the rights to Marvel movies and whatever Marvel properties were showing on
to everything basically.
I think I have a feeling it was 2019.
It was.
I could be wrong. It was.
Oh, right, okay. So it'd probably been well into production, possibly. Okay.
I just want to say how great the acting talent is in this show. I mean, it is just superb.
Anybody who we know?
I'm just trying to think. Some people look familiar in it, and you can't quite place where you've seen them before. But I think the majority of the cast are brand new. They're like it's one of their first gigs, or almost their first appearances. They're all phenomenal. I mean, some of them. I mean, I'm not just talking acting talent here. It's like musician talent as well, and singing talent. And you just think, my God, they're doing everything. The girl that plays Chrissy Hind in the show. I mean, they're all in like their late teens, early 20s, and the girl. She is just unbelievable. I can't remember the name of the actress, but you'll know her as soon as you see it. She's utterly stunning.
Sydney Chandler.
Yes, that's her. She's absolutely amazing to look at, amazing to listen to, and plays guitar and perform. And just wow, I was amazed every time she's on screen. And Ian will be like, his eyes will be like saucers.
I will say, Sean the Bus. Hello, Sean. John Lydon is pissed off about this.
Apparently so. It's not as accurate as he would like. So I've read somewhere. Yeah, I don't know where the discrepancies are. But
is he not selling butter?
Yeah, as a show, it's inaccuracies or no, it is incredibly enjoyable from beginning to end.
So it's a recommendation, yes.
Absolute 10 out of 10 for me. Yeah.
Jonathan says 2019 when it was sold. Yeah. So Disney Plus, ironically, and you're loving it, and just one series, yes, or are we getting another? Do you know?
No, there won't be another because
is it just a self-contained jobby?
Yeah, the band were together for a very, very short period. I think it was like 2 years, and they released one album and kind of just exploded, and they imploded rather, and it was all over. But it was that's the whole point of the band, if you know what I mean. Back then. They were kind of designed to be a flash in the pan, but you have to watch it to understand that. So it's definitely not going to be another series unless they follow the lives of the people that were in the band afterwards. But I can't really see that happening. But if anyone doesn't want to subscribe to Disney Plus, and I don't blame you, DM me on Twitter and I'll sort you out.
Andy Mouse, a must watch. So was this Boyle's next project after leaving No Time to Die then? Probably would have been, wouldn't
Yeah,
it?
probably was actually. Yeah.
Anyway, okay. So
everybody's getting hit, aren't they? Directors and writers and stuff. If you're not, no disrespect. If you're not gay, if you're not transitioning, if you're not getting any work. That's what's happening these days. It's absolute madness.
Yeah, that's right. Well, this is like mercifully free of any wokeness whatsoever, this show, because it has to be historically accurate. If it'd been on BBC or Amazon or something like that, it'd probably changed half of the band to other ethnicities. One of them would probably be in a wheelchair. One of them would be trans. It would be absolutely, and they'd probably be singing sanitized songs about gay pride and not about what they actually do sing about. So, thankfully, it's untouched by all that bullshit, and it's all the better for it. It's just wonderful.
God Save the Queen would have totally different meaning, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it would.
Okay. I'm here all week, by the way. Next, The Boys. Who's watching The Boys?
I have
Me.
finally caught up with The Boys.
I'm
Me.
watching it. Yeah.
Who
It's
would
great.
like to go first? Ian, Ian, you go first. You like
Well,
it then?
I am liking this. It's obvious they were. I mean, I don't know if they're following the comic, but if they are following the comic, it was obvious to me that they really had nowhere to go. If this was in the comic, the same with that as well, because what else could you do with this but do the obvious, which is what's happening with Butcher and now what's the young guy's name? The fella Huey. Yeah, the last episode was absolutely hilarious. I found it really hilarious, and yeah, and it's really entertaining. It's really disgusting. There's not much. I mean, I don't want to spoil it or anything, but
I think
you
most
do.
people have seen it, other than Tom.
Well, you do feel sorry for them, don't you? I actually really like. Forgive me because I can't remember any of their names apart from Butcher. The Asian girl. I
The
really
female.
do. Yeah, the only female there.
Is it
No, that's her name, the female.
Oh, is that all right? I really, really do feel for her because she seems
Amazing.
very innocent, doesn't she? Out of all
Yeah.
of them, she seems very much. I want
beautiful
like
girl.
she's having the discussion with the little kid in the last episode, not this last episode, the one before, and she texts us. She says, "Look, I really hate my powers. I wish I never had them." And that just says it all about her, doesn't it? She really doesn't want to be there, but she really doesn't have a choice, kind of, sort of. So yeah, no, I'm really liking it. I'll stop there.
Well, her name is Kamiko. Sorry, her name is
All
Kamiko,
right.
but in the comic book, she's referred to as the female and everything. Yeah, no,
Matty,
good.
you like it?
I do. I like this show. It doesn't. They're not following it like over. They're kind of doing the comic book, and they change things to the point where they have to go in a different direction. Because in the comic book, all the boys have powers. They all have superpowers.
Oh,
So, and they do in this season, with the pills or the shots or whatever. But I feel like they could still go to where the comic books end, where they go with that. But I love this show. It's really good. I think that this is so far the best season yet. I'm really enjoying it a lot and everything. And like Ian said, it's disgusting, but I like it. So,
but what what's his name? Lander, where his name is the main guy, the main Superman fella. What he did-
Homelander,
yeah, Homelander. What Homelander did to her friend at the end.
Supersonic.
Yeah, I was like,
Oh yeah,
I was like, what? It just
Yeah.
came out of nowhere, didn't it? When he flew her to the roof. I mean,
Yeah,
that guy is evil. He really does need to be stopped. He really
yeah.
does.
And Anthony Starr does a really good job.
He does, yeah. He does.
He's a great actor, fantastic in Banshee. It's been renewed for season 4.
Yeah, I always
Right.
question on how far they could go with this show. Like how many seasons? I think 5 would be the most.
Yeah,
they
I
could
think
go.
5-10 episodes easy.
Yeah,
Leave
because
it
I
at
just because every time they do a new season, I'm all like, well, that's kind like they've got payback in this one, but like it's different from the comic books, and I'm all like, okay, I'm like, it's not bad, but they change it up like a little bit, but enough to where you're like, I don't know, they can't go the same way as the comic book, but I don't know. But at the same time, they can still end it the way the comic book ended. So I mean, I don't know, but it's a good show.
So far this season, far better than last season.
For sure.
Lord COVID, are you watching?
Yeah, I have caught up with it. No, I'm enjoying this season as well. I'm slightly pensive about where it goes from this point, because I think what The Boys has done quite well, and the reason it's because it's an incredibly political show, but the reason it's been quite popular despite that is that it basically hates absolutely fucking everyone, and it doesn't. Well, arguably that's where season 3 went wrong, is because it became too overtly kind of favorable toward one side and not the other. This season so far has rode back from that, but the place it's going to now is quite overtly. Well, for example, Homelander's entire position now, as per the last 3 episodes, is very clearly setting him up to be the Donald Trump of Thor. He gives his populist speeches which poll well with the white working class. He sides with the police, and the police happen to be brutal bastards who just go punching black people for no good reason. He surrounds himself with yes men who won't ever tell him no, so he's going unhinged. No one inside his organization is keeping him in check. He thinks he's better than he actually is. I mean, he's a really overt Trump parody by this point, and I think the only risk with doing that is because it's fair to do that, because there's a lot worth parodying about Trump, but you have, for The Boys to be successful, to continue basically shitting on both sides at the same time and not saying, well, this is Trump, Orange Man bad, the end, because then that loses what made The Boys good to begin with, which was a deeply cynical but quite clever lampoon of virtually all American politics. If it indulges too much in the Orange Man bad, then it's going to go downhill quite quickly. But it has been enjoyable so far, and if there's one show that can avoid pulling that off, then probably The Boys is it. But I would just be slightly wary about where it's going next.
Cameo this week from Seth Rogen cracking one off.
Yeah, the less I see of him, the better.
Yeah,
I would prefer.
Agreed.
Prefer not.
It's interesting what you're saying, Lord. It's really interesting because it's funny how people don't see these things. But I mean, I saw what they were trying to do, but I just thought to myself, do you know what? It's not in your face so much as some of the shows. Do you know what I mean? So I could kind of live with it.
Definitely, definitely.
So yeah. I mean, I just hope they stop doing it now. I just hope they concentrate on story. You know what? There's a time and a place to put politics in your show, but not every episode, not every show. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I want to go back to the 70s where it was just storytelling, or the 80s, or even the 90s even.
Right.
But I see exactly what you mean, Lord. Definitely.
Right. Okay. So luckily, it's better than last season. It's getting good, thank God. And they're not dropping all the episodes at once, which is good. So can't wait for Friday. Okay, so let's move on.
I haven't seen the last episode of this. I haven't seen it yet.
I'm still on season 1.
Oh, yeah.
Season 3's finished already. I thought, what? As soon as you just got going.
The last episode I saw was very, 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 very interesting, and I don't know how he's going to get out of the problems that he's in. So I said I haven't seen last week because I was on holiday, but I plan to see it this week. But I still recommend this show. I think it's one of the most original shows on TV, and it's way under the radar. You know, people don't even know it exists. But once you discover it, you really want to, you will get invested in it. That's all I can say about this show.
Time Prophet, I've been to Barry Island.
So have I, mate. I was with, I think it was Butlins.
Andy Mouse, still haven't seen it. Get it watched. Anybody else seen it?
I'm still on season 1. I'm only on like episode 4, but I enjoy it.
You enjoyed it so far, yeah?
Yeah, so far. I'm Harry Winkler. I love his character. He makes me laugh so hard. He's like my favorite part of the whole show.
Cuso.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah. And I said to you before, I don't like Sally, the character Sally so far. She's kind of annoying me, but we'll see. You told me she gets better, so.
I mean, she is a great actress.
The only thing I don't like about this season is that Barry's slightly unhinged in this, and there's no reason I can see why he's gotten to this point. Because in season 1, he's kind of been manipulated, but he still has his senses about him. Do you know what I mean? And in this one, it seems like he's got no senses about him at all. And that's the only problem I have with this season so far. But as I said, it's still way streaks ahead of some of the shows that are on TV, as far as I'm concerned. So there you go.
It's on Sky, isn't it, for the British folks?
Atlantic. Sky
Yeah.
Atlantic.
So yeah, as I said, season 3 is finished, and it's only just got going. It's like what? The 30-minute episodes, I think, have gone against it this season.
Mm.
They could have at least maybe put out another 10 minutes, but
Yeah.
I just think it was season 3. You need it to be a bit more substantial.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I just don't. Just at least give us another episode, for God's sake. But so I suppose we'll have to wait another 3 years for the next season.
Well,
so,
the only reason why I wait 3 weeks because of the pandemic. I'm pretty sure. I don't know what happened in the last episode, but if he's still alive, I'm pretty sure they're going to bring us another one.
hopefully. Okay. So Barry, it's on Sky. HBO Max, if you're in the States, get it watched. The Orville. I think this was episode 3. Who's seen
I saw it.
Matty? Do you like it?
I did like it. It was good. It wasn't I mean, it's only 3 episodes in, so it was the weakest one for me personally, but I still liked it. It was still good. I mean, yeah. Except the character that shows up at the end, Denal, she looked like Tron, like hardcore. I was all like, "Oh, look at
She
that!"
did, yes.
Look at that. But I did like the callback to, I believe it was season 1, when they went to that planet and it like kept fast forwarding 7 years or whatever it was. I did like that callback. That was fun.
That was quite good, that episode.
Yeah. And so, but yeah, no, I really liked this episode. It was good. And it was, like, I don't want to spoil anything, but when they get back on the ship and then the Kalons show up, I was like, and then like they kept going back and forth. I was like, oh shit, they fooled me and everything. So I was like,
that
oh,
was
good job.
Matt, Swap Shop. You sort me out, please. Or
For what? The order?
episode 2 and 3, if you don't mind.
Certainly can, mate. Yeah, just send me a message. Let me know what you want, and I'll,
Sure.
Actually hosting drug deals on your stream.
I thought this episode was kind of channeling a few TNG episodes.
For sure.
One what springs to mind was season 2, The Royale, where they're in the casino. They're trapped in that casino, and they have to play the story to get out. And a few other kind of what other episodes? Yeah, it was mainly the Royale. Season 2 is where they beam down to the planets, and it's the American. This alien picks up this American astronauts from, I think it was the 20th century, that was shot into space, and he's playing there was a book called The Royale. And it was a casino thing where it just kept. I think it was the one with the revolving doors. So there was kind of channeling that episode, and a few other episodes. But I think there's quite a few plot holes in this episode. Why would anybody be thinking of a 21st century school?
That's a good point.
And a few other things, but.
Yeah.
Still Star Trek, though, isn't it, Matt?
Yeah, it's really, really good. I love this show. It's super good. I have like very few complaints, and the one I do are all like small and insignificant. So
I did like the space battle that kind of just stopped.
Oh yeah, I loved that.
That was nice.
Yeah, that was really, really good. Yeah.
Okay, so it's great.
Yeah,
it's not disappointed. So episode 4 this Thursday.
Yeah. Ugh.
Yeah.
No thanks.
Lord, you can say a paragraph and we'll move on if that's okay.
Any particular bit of it that needs a paragraph?
Whatever you feel, my friend, in your COVID fog of a brain. Go for it.
This show doesn't make me think. which is bad in its own right. What else is there left to be said about it? I mean, you've taken a show with significant potential, characters with significant weight attached to them, and you've turned it into what is essentially a farce. It's comically badly done. It's like truly incompetent writing. Whatever else you can say about the show, it is objectively badly written, horribly written. And episode 5, the most recent one, which some people decided for some reason was the best of all of them, was just as bad as all the others. It just had one or two moments in it that looked kind of good. Therefore, by being 98% shit instead of 100% shit, apparently that's how low the bar is now reached. That's what makes a good Star Wars episode. No, it's a staggering waste of everyone's time, and the people behind it should be ashamed of themselves.
That's why I didn't watch it. Knew that was going to happen.
It's the gift that keeps giving for your channel, though, isn't it, Lord?
Well, yes. It's again. I think I've said a few times. I would trade all of the views we've got shitting on this show for a good Obi-Wan show. Like I would happily swap these things around. Because ideally, I shouldn't have to make the videos I'm making, and ideally, EFAT wouldn't be getting such good currency off of this. Ideally, half of YouTube would not exist on the back of bad Star Wars. But so long as they keep churning these shows out, we are going to keep pointing out the ways in which they're bad. And I think as long as it doesn't just devolve into this is shit, isn't it? Yeah, this is shit. Then there's some worth in doing that, because you can. It's an object lesson in how not to write a story. And whenever you're lucky enough to get videos with views, you'll get some people in your audience who perhaps want to write stuff themselves, and so you can you can pull something good out of this utter disaster by at least showing lessons on things to avoid that will make other people better writers in future. Like I know I've done that. I've benefited from watching other YouTube reviewers do this. So in a sense, there is some cultural value from Star Wars being shit, but it's only negative. It's only a case of looking at this thing and do exactly the opposite. This is why it's doing things badly. This is what you do to avoid that. This is how you don't produce a show that looks like it's been written by fucking retarded Jawa. So yeah.
Can I ask one question about this show real quick? So Kathleen Kennedy, during Star Wars Day, like what was it, like a year or two ago, she said that we were going to get the rematch of a century with Obi-Wan and Vader or whatnot. And then we got that crappy fight on whatever sand planet it was or whatnot. And then in this episode, and then they're like, there's going to be 2 lightsaber battles. And then in this episode, we got a flashback. Were either one of these the rematch of the century? Because both of them sucked. I mean, it was nice to see Hayden Christensen back, but at the same time, I was like, "Is this what they're talking about? This one?" Because I was like, "This technically isn't a rematch."
No. I think that I'm pretty sure they will do another one in the final episode. It will be climactic. Obi-Wan will win it somehow. But I mean, you're right. So it can't be the 2 we've already seen. One of them, as you say, is a flashback. The other one was just so comically underdone. It would make sense from a writing point of view to build up to a big climactic battle at the end of episode 6. I gather that's what they're going to do. It's going to be on Tatooine, so they could potentially break the entirety of the setup for A New Hope. And there's almost no way that they can actually salvage this, because you have to.
They're rebooting it, mate.
No, I've heard a few people say that. I mean, I think I'll believe.
Yeah, they are. Trust me, they're rebooting it.
I will believe it when I see it, and then I will hate it. But you can't really solve this in any way. You need to have a final battle in which Obi-Wan beats Darth Vader to reestablish him as the Master come A New Hope. The problem is that by doing that, you have to knock Darth Vader down, which nobody wants to see happen, because this is the most badass villain in the history of cinema. Yep. And you shouldn't be trying to knock Darth Vader down, because that's deconstructing your villains. So the only way they could have done this, without causing any of this damage either to Obi-Wan or to Vader, is just to not have them meet ever. And you could have written a series where they didn't meet and just have Vader's sort of the threat of Vader closing in as being, the big menace. But no, they had to have their WrestleMania style rematch of the century type billing. So here we go. We're going to get a fight that either ruins one or the other of the characters. And it didn't need to happen, but that's where we are.
The whole show didn't need to happen.
No, absolutely. They should have just left it well enough alone.
There is a positive, though. Reva is going to have a spin-off show.
Yay.
Yeah.
But this is the thing, you see. So, I have no sympathy with people that go angry or is upset that these shows are bad. No sympathy whatsoever. You know what's coming, yet you sit there on your stupid ass and watch this show and bloody subscribe
Idiot.
to the channel. No, I mean, it's really annoying when I talk to people and they're like, yeah, wasn't that good? And I said to him, didn't I warn you that was going to happen? Yeah, but I got to watch it. You don't have to watch it. Don't you understand? If you watch it, you're supporting this rubbish.
I sort of think the worst thing, though, is that an awful lot of people looked at episodes 3 and 5 of this in particular and said, yeah, actually, we like this. That's actually worse. It's one thing people who should know better watching something that then disappoints them again, even though they should have known they were going to be disappointed. It's another thing that there is a sizable chunk of the viewership which looks at just, again, objectively awfully written pap and says, yeah, this is good. I remember Vader. I remember Obi-Wan. I remember lightsabers.
I remember TIE fighters.
This is great. It's like, but okay, they literally walked through a hangar with an oversized trench coat with 4 legs. No, forget it. No. I remember Vader. This is good. No, you people have absolutely no taste. And if that's the level of the fandom now, then I stubbornly believe that is not the level of the fandom singular, because there are a number of people who quite rightly, look at this for the disaster that it is. But Disney is appealing to the lowest common denominator, and there is a large faction of people who will drag that denominator lower. So the fact that there are people saying, yeah, this was good, is almost worse than people who are disappointed.
Well, they don't know any better, do they? The people that say it's good. They don't know what structure is. They don't know.
They're too busy looking at the phones.
Well, it's not that. The problem is deeper than all of what we're saying. It really is. It's deconstructing our heroes, and they want this to seep into reality. That's what I want to do. They want to take away our heroes. They want to, this. Oh God, no! I'm not going to stop here, because seriously, if I talk anymore, I'll just go crazy. Really.
I know. I can feel. I can feel it. Yeah,
I just don't understand how people. Well, I just don't understand how people don't see this. That they're trying to change reality with all this noise. What first is you aim at the nerds and the geeks and the young ones especially, and they grow up with this kind of logic and they believe it's real. That's what they're aiming for. That's why anyway, as I said, it's dangerous. I believe it's really dangerous, and that's why I will not watch garbage like this.
Question from Melvin Deeply. Hello, Melvin. Here's a question. Why are people saying it's nice to have Aiden back?
It's not.
Everyone...
Well, I'd love to answer that if it's okay.
Of course.
I would just want to say, well, real quick, when Hayden Christensen was in the prequel trilogy, I didn't like him in that one, but only because I thought his acting was not good. But I mean, I don't know if that was him, like he made a choice, or if George Lucas was like, oh, you need to play it this way and everything. But I do think that he did better in this show, in the 5 minutes he was in it, than he ever did in the original, in the trilogy.
Got more experience though, isn't he? He's got more experience. And that's the thing. George Lucas doesn't direct actors. He doesn't know how to.
Right. And
so he just let him do his thing, didn't he?
Yeah, for sure. And I just want to say also, like, for normies like my wife, don't tell her I said that. She hates when I call her a normie. But she had never seen Star Wars before we got married. What? And I know, right? I didn't know that when we got married. I was like, how did I marry you? You haven't seen Star Wars? But she loves the prequel trilogy. That's her favorite trilogy out of all of them. And she likes Hayden Christensen. So I go for like normies. They probably were all like, oh my God, Hayden Christensen, come party with me and everything. So I would say like I don't know. And plus, listen, the sequel trilogy wasn't good. And so it's nice to see something resembling Star Wars.
According to Time Prophet, everything after Return of the Jedi fan fiction.
I mean, I wouldn't fight him on it, on that statement.
So last episode is this Wednesday.
It is indeed.
It is.
We're going to be covering it. Obviously, Ruin Johnson is back to do the last episode. Should be fun. So
it can't be good. There's no way.
No, I
not your episode. The episode of Obi-Wan. It can't. It can't be. It can't be.
I personally think Star Wars is getting rebooted their way. So anyway,
I read something today about Millie Bobby Brown in talks to be cast in something to do with Star Wars and Disney.
There you go.
I can only think that she's being cast as Leia, and they're going to reshoot the whole thing. So
New Hope.
No hope.
rebooted. No Hope. Bob Hope. Okay. Who watched Star Trek Strange New Worlds?
I did.
Matty, what do you think?
I mean, I'll be honest with you. I thought this was worse than last week's episode.
It was a bit silly in places, wasn't it?
Yeah, and when what's her face, Doctor
Transgender.
yeah, when she starts talking about to Spock about how you don't need to be Vulcan or human, pick whatever you want. I was like,
I
oh,
just
your
need to be
gender studies
transgender.
degree
Yeah.
is showing through, honey.
Yawn.
Yeah, and then he's all like, hey, crew, they haven't had a good meal. Let me make you a meal. I'd be like, I'm like, what's going on here? I was like, what's going on here? Like, this is ridiculous.
But whip up a souffle for the captives.
And I always wonder, like, they hired Rebecca Romaine, and she's so hot and everything.
She's done nothing.
Yeah, she's done nothing.
Fuck off.
I think we've seen more of T'Pring, the actress that plays, and she's very hot. She's very hot, but we've seen her do
My
more than
computer melts.
Yeah, we've seen more.
She's hot.
She's very hot. We've seen her do more than number one, and I'm all like, I don't know. I feel like it's going. It's really.
Thanks, guys, for supporting Discovery, and yeah, well done, Ian. Well done, Matt. Well done.
Cheers, Ian. That's special. Thank you, my friend. Thank you. It's good to have you back.
I do love all the Pike hair memes. They're very funny.
His hair is carrying this series. But agreed. Number one, Rebecca Romaine, not done enough. She's done nothing.
Yeah,
there was no number one when Star Trek started. Only started with what is it? Next Generation. They had a number one. Where the hell does this number one come from?
It comes
from
the
Captain
Cage.
Kirk.
It comes from the Cage episode. The
yes,
original
but Captain
pilot.
Kirk never had a number one. He was the captain. That's it. So where the hell does this number one come from?
It was the original pilot when Christopher Pike was the captain of.
He never had a number one in that. He never had a number
that
one.
Was
I'm sorry.
Marshall Barrett.
No, he wasn't number one. He was just a second in command. Where's this number one comes from? These people don't know Star Trek. Come on. And stop supporting it, you two. God's sakes.
Yes, Dad.
Captain Pike was captain 10 years before.
Yes, I know that, but he never had a number. I saw that episode. I saw the pilot. He had the doctor.
There you go.
He had he never
Pike
was
had
had a number. Who was the number one then? Tell me.
What was the number one in the original pilot for Star Trek? The one what got turned down was played by Marshall Barrett, who became later Nurse Chapel. She was number one.
She was number one.
Yeah.
I don't even remember that episode at all. She was just woman number two on the side.
Mate, it's correct. It's correct.
Mm-hmm.
It's the only thing they have done right. Anyway, so okay.
Yeah, and I have a quick question. Like because I've only seen all of the original Star Trek episodes once. Did Nurse Chapel and Spock have like a thing? Because I was like, I don't remember that if it happened. I was like,
Nurse Chapel had the hots big time for Spock.
I thought it was McCoy. Did you not have a big time thing for McCoy? No.
Now I was trying to look it up because I was like, I don't remember any of that. But I was like, I've only seen the original series once.
Yeah, she loved Spock, but obviously because Spock was Vulcan, he couldn't show it.
He could if he wanted to.
If he wanted
didn't
to, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So let's move on. Wait! Look what it is. Lord COVID's news round.
I don't get this.
The most low energy news round ever.
Are you going to tell us some news we don't know?
Probably not. No.
Okay,
I don't know.
then.
But I like all good modern news presenters. I don't choose the stories. The producer just feeds it into my ear, and then I speak about it. I think that's
okay.
He spews knowledge.
What are we talking about today, then? The Lord.
I think on the streams. I think it was last Sunday. We went through the list of films that are coming up with Disney, and we said, ironically, the best film that would be coming out is Lego Star Wars Holiday,
Yeah.
and a few stills dropped this week. I think the trailer is out this Tuesday, but a few stills dropped.
Yeah, I don't understand this. I hate
I-
these movies.
Mhm.
They're
Really?
so
First-
weird.
The
I
first
hate-
one was good.
Oh, you think? Oh, see, I can't stand
Well,
any
the,
of them.
the first one was funny. I haven't seen the second one or the third one or any.
Oh,
any
wait.
others.
Oh, sorry. I'm talking about Star Wars Legos.
Oh, I thought
that
you-
first Lego movie was
Oh.
great.
Yeah.
We said last week that, ironically, we think that the Lego Star Wars film coming up would probably be the best out of all the films released by Disney in the next 2-3 years.
Mm.
Are these
And,
movies cheap, and that's why they keep making them? Because I'm all like, and is there an audience for this crap? Because I'm all like, I'm not gonna watch this. This looks awful.
There's not an audience for anything Disney spews out. There isn't. Only the normies. Well, I guess that is the audience.
was
but
it
seriously.
Lego Batman? I went to see that, and I thought that was great.
Hmm.
Was
That
it
was
Lego
okay.
Batman?
Yeah, I remember that. It was okay. Yeah,
Does Disney own Lego then?
I don't think so.
Or just license it out, the product?
I
to
would
them?
imagine it'd be licensed.
Yeah.
Mm.
It looks good though.
What other films is Disney going to be spewing out?
Oh, have you seen, because they did their joint release for the next slate of Marvel and Star Wars products, and there's basically there's something like 20 of them in the next 2 years. It's just absurd amounts of content.
Mm. I went to
And the
see
previous whole shite.
I went to see the last Jurassic Park film in Texas. I don't know if anybody's seen that. I didn't think much of it, but
Yeah,
my
it
sister
was-
loved it.
Yeah, I didn't. It was. I mean, like there were parts that I liked, but
Mm.
I was just like, by the end of it, I was just like, oh, can these dinosaurs just eat all of them so I don't have to deal with this shit anymore? I was,
It is. Do you know what's really struck me when I was watching this new movie is how unfocused it was.
Yeah.
The first 3/4 of the movie was bouncing from this story to the next
Oh,
story.
yeah,
And you just
yeah,
got
yeah.
really bored with it halfway through. You're like, come on, do something for God's
Yeah,
sakes, you know?
I agree. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's director talk, everybody. So we
And then you got those locusts involved. I was like, what's going
Yeah.
on here? I was like, what's
Yeah.
happening? What's happening? I was
Yeah.
like, they're making dinosaur locusts now. What's going on? I'm so confused.
I'm sure you guys would agree with me. I mean, if you look at the first Jurassic Park movie, it starts off with mystery, doesn't it? You don't even see the
Yeah,
dinosaur.
yeah,
They have all those tasers, and that guy gets caught, and they're all trying to
Yeah.
taser the thing, and it's really stylishly shot, and you know, the scene is so tense and stuff. This one starts off with what? With a girl in a cabin. You're like, what? You know, it's just, you know, did you not watch the others? Do you know what I mean? It was just really slow.
what was the the pronouns of the girl? How did she
No.
identify as?
Clone.
She's a clone. She's definitely a clone. But it's just stupid. The whole thing's just stupid. Instead of actually, you know, making the story work between the two groups, they literally went all over the shop with it, and it's
Yeah.
just.
So,
And I love
so-
how. Go ahead. You go ahead.
No, you go on.
Well, I
You're
love
the
how
guest.
Chris Pratt, to control all the dinosaurs, he just puts his hand out. Is that
Yeah,
how we
yeah.
control dinosaurs? Now we just put our hand out. And then the Asian woman that just kept pointing the laser beam at everyone. I was like, is that all you need? Is just a laser pen? I was like, with a little wow wow noise. I was like, what's going on here? That's what I kept saying to my wife. I was like, what's going on here? I'm so confused. This movie is confusing the shit out of me. And we've been here for an hour. I don't know what's going on. I was like. And then Billy D. Wong's all like, I think we made a mistake. I was like, oh, now you think you made a
Yeah.
mistake 4
Yeah.
movies in? Like, what's
Yeah.
going on?
But then what makes me laugh is the black woman, the pilot.
Oh, yeah.
She was so. I mean, if you took her out of it, it wouldn't have mattered at all. It
Yeah,
really
I love
wouldn't have
how
mattered.
she just popped up out of nowhere to save Bryce Dallas
Yeah.
Howard.
Yeah.
So, guys, for the folks home, is it worth watching?
And I mean, if you can watch it for free, I mean,
And you know
There-
what?
There's enough.
there were some
I-
fun parts in it. Like,
Yeah.
I mean, you know,
I personally think you will have a good time. after about 3/4 an hour into the movie really gets going,
goodness.
and there's a lot of dinosaurs trying to bite people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, I mean, the kids would love that. I mean, you know, normies would love that. But as a story and the structure of the damn thing and the storytelling's absolutely awful.
No.
Totally awful.
Okay.
But anyway, whatever.
Right. Okay.
Mm.
Right. So we'll move on from Lego Star Wars. I think I will go see that because it looks good. I think the Lego films are good. Anyway,
Is
I
Lego-
think they've just got the right attitude for me, but that's just me.
Is this going in the cinema or is it going to be on the channel?
Cinema.
Oh,
Is
okay.
it really? Wow. Okay.
Here we go. Top Gun is still doing amazingly well.
Mm.
Yeah.
It's approaching $1 billion, folks.
Yeah.
And yet my sister didn't like it.
What?
Went to see that too. Yeah, so went to see Top Gun, went to see Jurassic.
Joking.
Yeah, she just thought, meh, and she goes, "Oh, this is so cheesy." You know, she halfway through the movie, she's going, "Oh,
I mean,
this
well,
is so
there-
cheesy."
There are some parts where you're just like, what? Like when he just happens to find Miles Teller after running
Yeah.
through, and you're all like,
Yeah,
what? What? But I mean, like I liked it. It was fun. I liked it.
Yeah,
a
it was
lot.
fun. I
Yeah.
thought it was fun.
Yeah.
I'm going to go try and see it again this week.
Are you?
Yeah.
The best way
Look-
to see it is IMAX. Seriously, IMAX.
Um,
The scenes in the jets in IMAX are just amazing.
Edge of Time, who removed the umlaut from the E because it's easier to type. Hello, Edge. I turned down a free ticket to Top Gun.
The first one
No, a free ticket.
for the first one.
Yeah. Is it for the first one, Edge?
Yeah, 'cause I don't know.
Oh, either way, don't turn down free tickets.
Yeah.
Mm.
If it's for Maverick, I'd have definitely gone see him for a free ticket. So
Oh, I love that first one. I would have went to see the first one.
it's the film's doing very, very well in America. There you go. Edge of Time, the new one.
Another thing that I noticed when I
Right, yeah,
came out
good.
the cinema after watching Maverick, you know, and I was wandering around. My sister went to the bog, and I was wandering around the thing. There was, there's all these people that were coming out going, "It's a fantastic." And this guy came up to it and he said, "What do you think?" And I was like, "Yeah, I enjoyed it." And he was like, "It's the best bloody movie I've seen so far," And he just walked off. Do you know what I mean? And the Americans love it. They love it.
Yeah.
Because it's
You know.
patriotic, isn't it?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
He knows what he's doing, doesn't he, Tom? He knows what he's doing.
What did he say? We've made this for the fans.
Mm.
There's forward thinking. There's something throwing in a curveball, isn't there? Making
It's
a film for the
staggering
fans.
idea, isn't it? That if you produce a film that doesn't hate its audience, the audience quite likes the film.
Right.
It's almost like producing films that hate the viewer is not the way forward.
Mm.
But will people learn this incredibly complicated lesson because it's so difficult?
But
Yeah,
you've heard of the
unbelievable.
Daily Wire. The Daily Wire was trying
yes.
to make movies for the audience.
Yeah, they've just
Gina.
done. They
Yeah,
just
I
did. What was the one? Death
Terror on the Prairie. Yeah,
But
I
they've
just
made-
subscribed to him. So
They've made two, right? So they've made that one, and they made a Die Hard in a school with a
Yes.
woman.
yeah, well, they've got
Oh,
also a
Run,
superhero
Hide,
movie,
Fight.
and then
Have
they've got
Mm.
two more. They've got a superhero movie called the Hyperions, and then they've
Mm.
got another one about a woman. It's called Stuck In or something like that. I can't remember. She's like trapped in a closet because her boyfriend's drug dealer wants money, and her two kids are in the house.
Yeah,
I
but
don't know.
how-
I just subscribed to the channel, and I've got.
Yeah, but how different is this? They're making films about women.
Yeah,
Do
well,
you understand what I'm saying? It's
yeah,
like
yeah.
it could have been a teenager stuck in a college, a die-hard teenager, but they chose a woman. The Perry thing, I understand why they chose it because it's Gina Carano, right? But this next one, I think it's going to be another woman. I just want my heroes back. I want Arnie back. You know what I mean?
So,
I just
Too
want
old,
to
mate.
see action
Too old.
again.
Too old.
There is a,
No,
there is
you know
a
what I mean.
dual reason for the Daily Wire choosing female leads, especially in those roles, because in the first place, like quite a lot of the Daily Wire's target audience is actually female. I mean, we always assume that people with the Daily Wire style politics are probably going to be sort of red-blooded men, but actually a large part of the American target audience is sort of suburban white women, and
right.
Yeah.
that's one side of it. The other side of that is that the men that they are targeting will quite naturally like to see a fairly attractive woman on screen, but also feel more perhaps sorry or involved with the woman, given the woman is probably more vulnerable to whatever assailant happens to be attacking her in whatever film it happens to be. So you can sort of see why they would do it from both an audience and from a writing point of view. I'd agree. I mean, I think it would be great if they actually decided as well to start doing a couple of films with your standard, almost like 80s style male action hero, because that's one of the main sort of archetypal character types we just don't have in film at the moment, apart from maybe Tom Cruise. I don't think it's an either or proposition. They could do both. It's just curious actually that they haven't tried to do that yet. But I can see why they've done the way they have.
Oh, I want to have a word with you, Lord, because I've seen all of Stranger Things.
Oh yes,
right. So I've seen every episode, and I've got to honestly, truly say, hand and heart, that was woke. Woke as have you not noticed that none of the boys do make any great decisions or solve any problems? It's all the girls. It's ridiculous. And what do you call it? You know, what's his name? The guy that fancied 11. If you look at the first two, if you look at the first two seasons, he was moving, he was rescuing things, he was forthright. This one, he just runs after a van after she gets taken to. Do you know what I mean? It's absolutely woke. This one, it really is. And you were saying it wasn't. It's ridiculous. What? Sorry,
season 4.
This season, this is the last season.
See, I
absolutely
think that,
woke.
What about Steve when they're in the Upside Down and he's getting bitten by those bats and he's all trying to save him and everything and then
and he was made look like a fool, wasn't he? He lost his shirt. Oh come on! Can't you not see?
He was diving in the water.
He got saved by the girls. For God's sake, what is wrong with you?
And the one dude, Eddie was in there. He was helping with him. He was fighting him off.
Eddie, it comes across as obviously he's a stoner and he's scared. And remember he was talking to them. He was going, "Yeah, that girl, she loves you. She didn't even do a second. She jumped into the water to try and get you. Blah blah blah." Steve is meant to look like an idiot, and every season he's an idiot.
Steve is an idiot since season 1. I mean,
yes, I'm saying
that's part of his character. I mean, I don't look at females making decisions and automatically say that is woke. I can see why it can be.
No. Tell me one male that made a decision and had a clue to lead to the point.
Dr. Brenner, the guy who's literally in charge of the entire evil operation, his Jewish doctor sidekick, who's the one who brings Eleven's powers back.
He's not
Hopper, who leads the fight against the evil creature
in Russia
and gets himself out. His Russian sidekick, who breaks him out of the prison with him.
We are talking about the kids, Lord. Kids.
If you're saying
it's all about the kids,
take this one pre-selected half of one of the 4 major plot lines, and this one has too many women in it. Then if you're gonna myopically focus on that one aspect of it, I can see why. But you can't say, well, none of the men make any decisions overall when they do. They do in every other plot line going through that series. The question is balance. I can take your point. I think it was definitely bigger in season 3. I think they have been pushing the female characters with the kids' story arc, but I don't think that actually makes the whole thing woke overall. I just don't see it really. But
I do.
But it's curious because people look at
stuff.
I see it.
People look for different things when they look for what woke is. I think
you're being too soft on it, Lord.
It's possible. I have a soft side to me. But
I tell you one thing.
There are different people look for different things in this. So there is a gender politics aspect to woke, and some people will look much more at the gender politics aspect of woke than other ones. But if you go back to what we were saying about the boys, and with Homelander being overtly a Trump caricature, and then other people who will focus on the gender politics aspect just don't pick up on that one. Well, I picked up on that one, but maybe have not picked up on the gender politics one. I think it just depends which aspect of the woke politics you're particularly interested in. But I can see some of the point, but I just don't think it's a woke show overall.
Okay, so let me put this to you, right? When people think of Stranger Things, they don't think about Hopper. They think about 11, they think about the kids, because that is the core of the show. No matter what anyone says, right? Yes, you've got these other stories that spur out, but people come to see 11. They come to see the kids because that's what the show's mostly about. And to have not one kid, right, solve a problem, one male kid solve a problem, it's just ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Well, I think, I mean, you're making very good points, but I think the part where Lucas he realizes that to save Max, it's got to be through music to get her out of the upside down and everything.
No, it wasn't.
And
It wasn't him.
Dustin
It wasn't. It wasn't
Dustin
Justin.
solves everybody.
No, it wasn't.
Dustin's entire character development
Fight and
now
talk,
in this show is him basically saying to everybody else, "How did you not see this?" Because he's just worked it out. Dustin works everything out.
Dustin didn't work that out.
Lucas is the guy who stops his basketball playing thug mates going and finding and killing his other friends. I mean, these characters do have other agency. I would go so far as to say, yeah, maybe the problem with the kids arc at the moment in Stranger Things is that they've invested too heavily in 11 and they've actually relegated the other main kids to secondary roles. I think they've gone slightly too far in that direction. But that's to say that all the kids, generally speaking, are a bit sort of vapid now. It's not really to say that only the women do anything, because they just objectively don't. Dustin has an incredibly important role in the plot. Steve is a hero at times. Jonathan will almost certainly come up and save Nancy at some point. I mean, it's just, these things are multifaceted.
Yeah, okay. I'm not buying that at all. Not buying it at all.
On that, Matt went critical mass. Hello, Matt. You're back.
Oh, sorry, I was moving my mouse and I accidentally clicked.
Okay, so before we start a punch up, let's move on.
Not a punch up. It's just trying to
this.
point out that these things are still in there. You know, I mean, I like Stranger Things, and I want it to be better. But now you got, who's the guy that was in the Upside Down originally? It's like he fancies that the other. I'm useless with names, and I'm like, is he going to come out now? Is he going to come out now? And it's like, I wouldn't be surprised in the next he does come out. Do you know what I mean? It's just like, no, it's not convenient at all, is it? Really? Let's face it. Just don't do it.
Which is why they'll do it.
Yeah, I know. And Lord was talking about the redhead girl, right? I was reason for it, right? But what about the kid? Sorry, I'm useless with names. What about the kid who was in the Upside Down? He had trauma. So why didn't that ghost fella or creature fella focus on him? He didn't. He had to be a girl, right? It had to be a girl.
I think basically you put Will through the ringer in season 1. You've put Will through the ringer in season 2. If you keep making it Will Byers every single time, it just becomes stale.
So it's okay to do it 11 every single time. Then it's okay to do it for 11 every single time, but it's not what
11 is the hinge character around this. So Will is a plot device in season 1, and to a lesser extent, he's also a plot device in season 2. There's a difference between having your main character the focus of your story and using the same character as a plot device in 4 entire seasons. Will isn't a main character. He has been a plot device until really this season when they start adding character to him. I don't think you could do the same. If it's just, Will's trapped in the Upside Down again, or the Upside Down has come for Will again, people will look at that and say, well, I've just seen that for 2 whole seasons. Why do I want to see that again?
No, they won't.
They
won't do that. But I'm just saying, well, anyway, listen, we have to agree to disagree. I think it's as woke as hell. The whole thing is just woke. It really is. It's crazy.
Not Brian Young in the chat. Hello, Brian. Ian and Ben's disagreements are a fascinating listen, especially when they disagree.
They're quietly listening, and it's fascinating because Ben's an incredibly clever guy, and
he's a dumbass.
We've got Ian, who's also incredibly clever and very experienced. So to hear a debate like this about a show that I've not yet seen, and I'm kind of on the fence about whether I'm going to watch it or not. This is really, really fascinating.
The chat's loving it.
So you go, guys. This is great.
No, I give up. He's got more subs than me. I give up.
He's got more subs than everybody. So anyway, okay. So speaking of punching, Tom Hanks has been in the news.
Oh
this week.
Did that guy hurt his wife?
Yeah, the guy just bumped into his wife. And he just lost his shit. But also on the left story, it's the gay men should only play gay characters coming back again.
They should look up the word actor in the dictionary.
Yeah.
But Tom Hanks wasn't a soldier, but he played a World War II soldier.
Exactly.
Well, Tom Hanks has himself actually played a gay character before as well.
He has, yeah.
So this goes both ways, yeah. So gay actors can't play straight roles. Is that right?
Yes.
That's what I'm saying, but it doesn't, does it? And that's what's hypocritical about the whole. Now it looks like Tom Hanks is just falling in line now, talking
There you go.
nonsense.
Yeah, he's
And
got
also,
he's gone
also
down the
to a
dark
lesser
path.
extent, straight people can't play asexual roles.
Exactly.
So that means we have to now ban and bury, never to be seen again, every episode of Doctor Who ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's no mistake they've cast that guy from what's that stupid American sitcom that went on forever, My Mother or whatever it is. Do you know My Mother or My Dad, whatever it's called?
Oh, How I Met
one.
Your Mother.
That's it. And they've got that guy, and he so happens to be gay, so they've cast him in it. You know what I mean? It's like, come on. You know what? You don't like white straight guys anymore in TV shows? What's going on in the world? It's just
Christopher
so
Eccleston last week did a bit of an article saying white men, forget it.
That's because he wants to fall in line and he needs work. That's why. That's what's happening.
Yeah, I don't understand this whole process of like you like, because then it's not acting. You're just playing yourself. You know, it's so ridiculous. I just go, you know, it's like all these non-binary actors. It's like they only play non-binary characters, and I go, why can't you play? I saw what's her face that played Hela in the Marvel movies. I saw her play a man in the movie.
Yeah,
Blanchett.
And Kate Blanchett, and she played what's it, the musician? Anyway, she played a man in a movie. She did a fantastic job, and I'm all like, and Ian McKellen, he said it because somebody brought him up. He said that it's interesting to study the whole, you know, heterosexuality and that whole thing and everything. And I'm like, yeah, because that's acting. That's your job to figure that stuff out.
I will say, Tootsie ain't ever going to get made again, and Mrs. Doubtfire, forget that.
No,
but look, I'm not saying that it's bad to cast gay people in gay roles. It's fine to do that. But what we're seeing now is that everything is connected. Everything is connected to sexuality, which I'm finding really odd. Do you know what? Right? Do you remember the Thin Blue Line? The sitcom or comedy sitcom that was on BBC One. Now that guy Dreyfus, he fancied Sergeant Abib, didn't he? And he's gay. He's gay in real life, right? But he was playing a straight guy, right? So why is so annoying? Why is it all right for him to do that?
He's been cancelled, hasn't he? James, what's his face?
James Dreyfus, I think.
Over a Doctor Who something, wasn't it?
Yeah,
cancelled.
I think one of the best received sort of quote unquote gay films in recent times has been Call Me by Your Name, which was very well received because, you know, it's a really sensitively written film. It's a well shot film. It's quite a tragic film in its own way, and it stars. I mean, Timothy Chalamet is in one of the leads in that film. I don't think Tim Chalamet is actually publicly been public about his sexuality, but there's like a 90% chance he's straight. But he's playing a gay character in Call Me by Your Name. He's also a good actor. He's also beautiful. So I don't think many gay people are looking at Call Me. But thank you very much. I wish. I don't think many gay people would look at a film like Call Me by Your Name and say, you know what would have made this film better if we hadn't had Tim Chalamet in it. We just picked some randomer because his sexuality accords to the sexuality of the character. No, that's not how you do good acting. That's not how you cast good actors for good characters.
Why is it so important though? I just don't understand.
It's not important. That's the thing. But it's sort of made people in Hollywood think that it's important because Tom Hanks will get some reputational credit from saying this because it seems like the right thing to say according to the clique he's a part of. That's the only reason. I don't think he really gives a fuck about this. It's just it seems like a good thing for him to say because all his friends say the same thing.
I totally agree with you. That's one thing we agree on right there.
There's a first, folks. I'm going to timestamp that 1 hour 8 seconds.
As I said, Lord, right? It's a horrible thing to live in fear, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Do you know what I mean? And it's one of the most biggest stars in the world now is saying this stuff because he fears for his job. And I think that's really sad. I don't know about you guys. I love Tom Hanks personally. I think Tom Hanks is brilliant.
But also, yeah, I mean, that's another point, isn't it? Because surely the real goal of some like representation should be what you want is the best characters on screen, because the characters are the things that everybody sees in an artistic work, not the actor behind them, not what the actor thinks, feels, and believes. It's the character they're portraying, and what that character is, what he thinks, what he believes, who he loves. If you want real representation, in other words, the most effective depiction of any group you care to name, you want the best actor to play that role, because someone like Tom Hanks would bring out the nuances of a gay character better than some Z-list person who happens to be gay in real life, drawing him in to do it. If you want a really good gay character, you should just find the best actor to play that role, whether they're gay in real life or not. Tom Hanks would be better at playing a gay character than what's his name? Shooty, is it, from the new Doctor Who?
Yeah.
If you had a choice between starring Tom Hanks or what's his name as the Doctor at the moment, would you pick Tom Hanks? 100% of the time, yes, because he's just going to be better at portraying the role. So that's what real representation ought to be focused on, but it isn't what we do. Representation is just gay people have to play gay characters. No,
Edge of Time in the chat. Sex is overrated. Yes, especially if you're not getting any.
No, I mean, as I said, I love Tom Hanks, and in Philadelphia, he was absolutely brilliant. He deserved the Oscar. His performance was stellar. I even felt sorry for him towards the ending. And you know what? And he was brilliant. As Lord Cord says, right? If you got a gay guy to do that, an unknown, it wouldn't be half as powerful as the way Tom Hanks would, portrayed it.
Would they have to get somebody who actually got AIDS?
I don't know. It's crazy, isn't it?
And is he giving his Oscar back now?
Fucking stupid logic.
You would assume he would give the Oscar back, wouldn't you? But,
give it back.
Because Eddie Redmayne as well for the Danish Girl.
Yeah.
Would have been.
I remember Gina Carano was on a live stream, and she was saying that she had people coming up to her. She went to a party once, right, on the beach, and this well-known actress came up to her, and she whispered in her ear, and she said, "You know what? You're right, but I'm really scared to talk out. I fear for my job, but I just want to tell you that you're absolutely right, and you're brave to do what you're doing." Do you know what I mean? So that's how scared they are. They're scared. It's not good to. Why don't they fight back? I don't understand. I mean, Tom Hanks is a powerful actor. He can command any film he wants. All he needs to do is stand up and say something, right?
I mean, go ahead.
I don't understand this, right? And if he's scared that people are not going to give him money to make another film, all he can do is just talk to the financial bods and sell himself as Tom Hanks in a movie, and the people will be throwing money at him. Where is the fear coming from? I don't understand.
Not Brian Young in the chat. That was seriously dark, Brune.
Brune? Oh,
that's me. I don't know what was Brian, but thank you.
I'm just going to hazard a guess and say it's AIDS. Normally, if someone says that's dark and the word AIDS has been in the last 5 sentences,
but it's true though. It was a film about a guy who caught AIDS. Why is it not being played by a gay guy who'd got AIDS?
Yeah.
And more importantly, now, why is that film not being retroactively cancelled?
And you know what? Seriously, on Type 40, which I'm on every week. Okay, so one of the people, and I'm not going to say which one on Type 40, said he sent me a message saying, "Oh, thank you for saying that, Ian," because I said something about, I don't believe in, Shooty playing a doctor. I don't believe in race swapping or gender swapping. And he said, "I couldn't say it, Ian, because I'm white. I could not say it, but thanks for saying it." And this is what we've come to. Now, one guy can't say what he's on his mind.
You don't give a fuck because you're a white supremacist, aren't
you? No, but do you know what I'm saying? This is how serious it is. It's gotten. Like, not even famous people are scared of saying something now. It's just absolutely crazy. Oh, I don't know. I'll stop now.
Correct. Maybe. Although, if you've seen his son, Chet, he says all he wants. It's quite hilarious.
I don't know.
Right. Okay. So, moving on from Tom.
Oh God.
Guess what?
I don't think there's any point. There's no point you asking if anyone has seen this because no one has watched it.
I've seen it. I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it? Yeah, one of the 5 people in the world has actually watched it.
I saw the first 10 minutes.
I actually kind of like the second episode.
But you know, the guy that you had on your channel, Ian, what's his name? I can't remember his name, but
Cameron Pasha.
that's it. He likes this show.
Yeah, the thing about this show is there are certain parts of it that are actually kind of charming. That like in the second episode, there's a scene where she's going through the house and she's like there's music playing, she's like dancing to it. And it reminded me of Adventures in Babysitting, and I was like, oh, this is kind of. I like the actress that plays her, but
MC's watched it.
The thing about this is, so I read only 9 of the comic books and then I had to bail because they sucked. They were just, I couldn't relate. It's a 16-year-old Muslim girl, and I was like, I don't get it. But she's like a fan girl or whatever. So she meets Wolverine for the first time and she's like, oh my God, you're Wolverine and everything. And so I was like, well, I can relate to that because if I met Wolverine, I'd freak out and everything. But the rest of the comic book is pure crap. So but this character is not the Kamala Khan from the comic books. It's like they wrote a different character. So I like that. But yeah, there's some parts that I'm just like, I'm like, that's kind of stereotypical. So I don't know if that's racist or
Romeo Tango November Zulu. Why are any of you watching this?
I'm not watching it.
I'm not.
It's aimed at 12-year-old girls. Fair play to them if they watch it or not. Well,
Yeah,
that's
so
the
that's
Disney
the,
way, isn't it? Aiming it at 12-year-olds.
Yeah, that is the impression I got from the trailer. But I mean, I think I did a preview video of it, basically saying, look, I'm not convinced I'm going to watch it because it doesn't seem like it's aimed at my part of the market anyway. But all I'm concerned about is that if people do criticize it, that they're not just immediately branded racist because they're criticizing America, the first Muslim majority character, whatever it is. That weirdly enough, I've had comments under that video from Muslims who actually take their faith seriously, who say, no, we hate this too because it's haram. I'm like, okay, I actually got a right-wing Muslim fan base. That's not something I was expecting on my channel at all. Like, I agree with you. This show is haram. Yeah, okay. Fair enough.
I think if this had been out maybe 5-6 years ago, maybe the audience wouldn't have had the woke committer bullshit going so much. But first 10 minutes of this program, it denied that Tony Stark had anything to do with the last big Marvel. What, Infinity War was it, or which was the last one? I can't remember.
Endgame was the last.
It was, yeah, Endgame. It wasn't Tony Stark. It was Captain Marvel who saved the day. So there you go.
Yeah.
So the only reason that I would be tempted to watch this is because Captain Marvel being so massively unpopular, her sequel film is being turned into the Marvels, hasn't it? And so I believe this Miss Marvel is going to be one of the Marvels in the Marvels when that comes out. So in a sense, you do need to watch it for that film to make sense, kind of.
Well, we just don't go and see the film. That's all.
Yeah, it's just annoying when I have to come to review it, and then I realize I don't know what the fuck what's going on because I didn't watch this teenage rom-com chick flick thing.
Yeah, just wait until it's all done. Somebody will do like a recap, like a
Matt will fill
recap.
you in. He'll
Yeah, I can fill you in.
He's watching it.
Yeah.
Okay, so nobody's watching it. Lowest viewing figures. Blah blah blah. Moving on.
So they have absolutely no conviction over their character. How she was originally, so they have to go and change her for the TV show.
Yeah, they had to do reshoots for this show, and I don't know if it was for the better or the worse, but I can tell you right now, the woman that co-created this character, she's been like let go because she's have inappropriate relationships at work or whatnot at Marvel. But of course you don't hear about that because she's a woman.
Yeah,
but
card.
And maybe she changed into whatever character this is for on this show. But the one from the comic books, I can tell you right now, I only got 9 issues in. I was like, I'm not wasting $4 on this garbage. This is ridiculous. So I only have 9 of them. So, but yeah, I just it's the comic books are no good, but the show, I mean, like there are certain parts where it's actually like, I don't know, kind of charming, but like you guys said, it's very much I don't know, kind of for like 13-year-old girls.
They changed her power, didn't they? Because her fists in the comics grew, don't they? And now they've changed it.
I'm glad they did that though, because her powers in the comic book suck balls. Like she's like Mr. Fantastic, but it's only her hands and her arms, and they just grow and get bigger. And I'm like, oh,
this is fisting
stupid.
then.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Okay.
This looks
this
like
week, yeah. The work of the mighty data racer is never done, is it?
No.
Who's Data Racer?
He
It's kind of
saves.
like
Yeah, go ahead. You go.
no, go on.
He
You'll have a better
saves
explanation.
tweets and stuff from people that they either erase, or it's just he collects all this stuff. For instance, this story that you have up here.
He's like a compiler.
Yeah, he's great. Like, if ever I want to find a tweet that got deleted from somebody that said something really shitty, I just go to his Twitter and I just do an advanced search and I find it and everything. It's great. I love that he saves all this stuff.
This week's story was Star Wars put a comic out, and with all the kind of agenda.
Yeah, it was probably garbage.
And somebody said it's crap, and literally, I think Star Wars magazine, Twitter account, basically said just go to town on this guy, and it was just.
Yeah,
it's the second or third time the full Star Wars Twitter account, but I don't even know how many millions of followers that thing has, but it's a lot, has picked random replies from nobodies under its tweets and just been a dick. And of course, it's what if you're a Twitter account with like 40 million followers and you start taking the piss out of some minor account that doesn't like you very much, then some of those 40 million followers, and it will be a lot, will pile in on that account with very few followers and who's never had any social media exposure ever.
2 followers this guy had.
This guy will, for the first time in his entire life, have been waking up to his phone buzzing, non-stop buzzing, thousands of notifications as Disney Star Wars fans just jump in and shit on him. And I think that he had to delete his account. There's another person they did it to who had 7 followers about a week or so ago. The same thing is happening. And like the point of this isn't just social media account orchestrates pile on, because that's kind of common for social media. The point is that Star Wars, big corporations used to think that they had this sort of sense of social responsibility, which is that you don't deliberately try and carve your fan base into pieces and set one half warring with the other half. But Twitter really incentivizes that kind of behavior. Twitter makes it, a boon to you if you go and be dicks on social media. Twitter exists to divide people. And actually, the Star Wars Twitter account is doing what would actually be good social media strategy by shitting on random fan accounts. The problem is what makes for good social media strategy basically ensures that fans hate each other, because Disney Star Wars is taking a side against one set of fans, and it's encouraging its own set of fans to go and attack the other set of fans. This is no way to ensure any kind of sort of socially harmonious franchise. This is not how Star Wars can do good in the world, but this is how they've chosen to do it because Twitter likes. Hooray. Burn the troll.
Romeo.
What you call it, Lord? Yeah, you do sound sick. Actually, you do. You've recovered quite fast, haven't you? all he needed is a Star Wars thing, and then you're off.
Anger is the best medicine, definitely.
Romeo Tango November Zulu. The Drinker did a video about the Star Wars Twitter thing. The guy said, "Don't make Star Wars political. I'm following that guy to support him."
Yeah, I mean, so the context is that the comic, I think it is, they're putting out has 2 lesbians on the front of it for Pride.
Oh, get in.
And you can tell, it takes a lot of work to get Star Wars nerds to not like lesbians, but that is the world we now live in. People are so sick of Disney Star Wars that they're even going to deliberately swear off watching lesbians do things. So. And then someone says someone says, don't make Star Wars political. And the Star Wars Twitter account says that the existence of queer people isn't political, as though that was the point being made, which it fucking well wasn't. And then it says wars is literally in our name, as though that means anything at all. But the point is, it's hounded the second or third person off of Twitter basically in the last month. And that's
rainbow lightsabers.
Rainbow lightsabers might actually look kind of cool. I'm surprised they haven't done that yet. Don't give them ideas.
It's on its way. Okay, so we'll move on. So Data Racer, all agreed he does the work of the Lord on Twitter.
The Lord Chord.
Yeah. A little bit of Gina. I think she's doing the press stuff for a new film that's coming out.
Yeah.
She was in Dallas this week as well. And it just went back to the Mandalorian stuff. So obviously she was upset about it all. She was at a low point in her life, and then was it the Daily Wire reached out,
Yeah.
and then the rest is history, isn't it?
Yeah.
She was on Friday Night Tights, wasn't she?
Oh, was she?
Yeah,
Yeah,
she was.
Yeah.
I'll have to go back and listen to that.
Mm.
Yeah, so she's doing her film at the moment. What's it called? It's the Western, isn't it? A Western.
Yeah, The Terror on the Prairie.
Anybody seen it?
No, I'm
No.
gonna try to watch it tonight. I just I literally yesterday subscribed to the Daily Wire so I could watch that movie and all the other ones that they have on there.
Okay, I think I might need to check that out. So
It is a really interesting juxtaposition, though, because remember Disney says to Moses Ingram, "You might get some abuse from Star Wars fans," and then she shares a few messages that she's got. I don't think any of them were actually racist, but they were definitely abusive. And then Disney said, "Look, this abuse is terrible," but then it piles in on random Twitter accounts, and then it sacks Gina Carano. It doesn't pay any attention to the mountains of threats and abusive messages they get because
Absolutely.
they don't share its politics. So it doesn't care about abuse unless abuse happens to people it likes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And can I just say about that Moses Ingram thing? I don't believe any of that nonsense. I think it's all fake. 100%. Like I can tell you right now, I can send myself crappy DMs and then put it up online. Like there's no like they don't put out it drives me mental because there's like these DMs that she says and she's like, I got hundreds of them, and I'm like, all right, show me the receipts, honey. I want to see this shit, and I want you to put their names out there. If you hate racism, I'm putting up quotes there, then why don't you call them out? If you're just so against racism, I think it's all fake. They just threw up some random avatar in a circle and then threw up some crappy DMs that they photoshopped. You don't even have to Photoshop. It's just all a lie. I think it's all a lie. I don't believe them, not one bit. I believe zero of it. I think they did it just so they had a way to be all like, you don't like Obi-Wan? Well, that's because you're racist.
Yeah,
racist.
And then you combine that with their behavior on Twitter, and it all sort of builds this picture of a franchise that's actively stoking this kind of argument because it gets social media clout for it. It's a good way of getting more exposure for itself, and it looks more and more deliberate the more this stuff happens. Everything sort of it's a preponderance of evidence that they are trying to manufacture as much of this controversy as possible.
You have to remember though that the normies outnumber us.
Oh yeah.
So that's so yeah. So I take my hat off to people that are fighting for to clear this crap from pop culture. Yeah. So she's take my hat off to her. You know what I mean? So
what was the guy's name again that spoke out? Because I'd like to follow him as well.
Who's that?
This chap that was piled on by
he deleted his.
Yeah.
Romeo, could you post the guy or the guys?
I think he's deleted it.
He's deleted his account, isn't he?
Okay.
Right. It's the way it goes.
Yeah, I would follow him too.
Okay, so we'll move on from Gina. She was in Dallas this week.
She was. I just missed her. Oh, there we go.
Do you know anything about this, Ian?
No, not at all. I went to the meetup. It was a lot of fun. The thing that I noticed, which I was very pleased of, is how the community was all very nice. There wasn't anyone that was, there were people talking about certain things about, pop culture and stuff like that, but no one was screaming, shouting or angry. It's obvious that Gary's popularity has grown because the queue to get his autograph and his sign-in posters and stuff was huge compared to the rest of them, like Jeremy and the rest of them. I really had fun. I met people that I only met through, only know through the avatar. I met Purple Valkyrie. She's really nice. I met Drunk Freepio, obviously Gary himself, and Jeremy and stuff. And as far as I can tell, right, because a lot of people like to rail on them. Yes, I don't understand Friday Night Tights because they talk about things that most politics and and stuff that I don't understand. But as far as I can tell, and I don't know them that well, obviously, they seem to be really nice people and care about pop culture. And you can't say any fairer than that, right?
Right on.
So I had a really good time, and these people are really nice as far as I can tell.
Yeah, and see, you notice the difference. Like, if you went to an opposite one and you said something like, "Oh, I don't think that we should, cast straight people in gay roles," they'd be all like, "Oh, that's because you hate gay people," or something, and
Yeah,
they throw you out.
yeah, yeah. But as I said, I mean, uh, they've grown in popularity because I like to think that they're talking sense. I mean, a lot of people who say, "Oh, yeah, they're really hating on stuff," it's because they're angry because nothing is changing, and I don't blame them for being angry with stuff. I mean, it's just like me being angry on the Jodie Doctor. Do you know what I mean? I just think it was
This
absolutely
channel as well.
ridiculous.
You've been angry on here, yes.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go ahead. You go ahead.
No, go on, Matt.
Well, I was just gonna say, and even
Mm.
if I think that even if you disagreed with them, like on Friday Night Tights,
Mm.
they would just like disagree with you. They wouldn't be all like, "Oh, you're just shilling for the company." Be like, "No, I
Yeah.
honestly like I liked this episode of Miss Marvel," and I'm like, if you didn't like it, I get it, but I'm like, I think that the difference is that they're open to listening to your opinion, even though they disagree with it, and they're just like, "All right, well, we'll disagree or we'll agree to disagree," and then that's the end of it. It's not like well, you need to be canceled, fucker. So
Andy Mouse in the chat, that's what binds us. We care about pop culture.
We do, and when
We do, mate. We do.
when he saw me, he was amazed. He was like, "What the hell are you doing here, Ian?" I'm like, "Well, I've come to see you, I guess." And yeah, he was really amazed because I guess he was amazed that I took the journey,
Yeah.
from England to be at this thing. I mean, the thing is, though, I actually admire him. I think he's really brave to step out because he could get crucified on Twitter and stuff like that. But I'm telling you, you don't. You have you don't to understand what I'm saying. You had to have been there. There was so many. There was unexpected 200. They must at least had 500 people there. And I wasn't there on the next day because they were at the con and they had their own room in the con, and there were hundreds of people there, just listening to them talk. So they, I think it's a good thing. I think it's a good thing. But hey, that's just my opinion. So there you go.
So you had a good time. Looks
Oh,
like
I
it.
did. I did. I had a good time.
Great.
Brilliant time.
Okay, let's move on then. Ben Shapiro, Daily Wire, one of Gina's mates. This is connected with Lightyear, which has flopped, apparently.
Oh, is this Buzz Lightyear?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, right. Okay.
So I'm slightly torn on this. So Ben Shapiro is objecting to the insert of a lesbian kiss shot. I don't even know how long this shot is in the context of the film. I don't also know of any evidence that this is the reason the film is tanking. And his problem is that obviously you can tie it back to the leaked internal conversations with Disney executives saying they're pushing a not at all secret gay agenda, etc., whatever. And so there are right and wrong ways to object to that kind of thing, because it very much depends what they're doing. If by gay agenda they mean all the LGBTQ plus pride stuff, trans kids in school, all the rest of that, that is an agenda that is being pushed, and you can object to that on political grounds. Ben Shapiro objected to this, though, on very different grounds, and I think this is the point at which it stops being understandable, unless you come from sort of a religious right perspective, which he does. It's a valid perspective people have. I don't agree with it, but I think people should be honest about what they're objecting to. If your objection is solely to the existence of gay people on screen, which in his subsequent podcast episode, he basically said it was, that I don't think is a very nice, good thing that I would or could support.
Agreed. I've not got a problem with anything like this. I just don't want it shoved down my throat every time I go to the cinema.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Boys,
Is this a breeding lesbian relationship right
here? Yeah, I agree. Like, I was going to take my kids to see this, and I have no problem with them seeing a lesbian kiss, because that's what I understand. It's just a lesbian kiss, and there's like a relationship, and I wouldn't have a problem with my children seeing that.
It's the message, though, isn't it?
Yeah, but like, I didn't take them to go see it this weekend because I didn't really want to see it, because it didn't feel like I don't know. It just felt like a weird movie. Like, I just felt like it was made for adults, not for children. And then Well, I read the spoiler, so I know what happens in the movie. I was like, oh, I'm glad I didn't take them because this doesn't seem like a movie like I don't know, like I would want to go see, let alone take my kids to go see.
But
You know,
another question you got to ask yourself as well is that so I don't mind having a lesbian couple and lesbian kiss doesn't bother me.
as long as I can
But
watch.
what does it say
Yeah.
about but what does it say about fathers in
That's a good
shows
point, too.
now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So is it I mean I understand what the Lord is saying. I call him the Lord because he is.
He is the Lord.
He is. I understand what he's saying, but also you have to look at the other side of the coin as well. What is it saying about actual male representations in family?
Is Father's Day problematic now?
Yes, I'm saying. So you
Yeah,
know,
I'm
so
thinking exactly the same here as you.
I understand what Ben's saying, but
A
you got to
lot.
look at the overall aesthetic of what they're trying to push out here. And if you don't get representation of good fathers on screen, kids will grow up thinking that there are no good fathers.
I agree with
Just
that.
No,
just a point,
definitely,
yeah.
definitely.
Isn't
There is
Vader a bad
huge,
father?
well, he becomes a good father, but no, you're right. There is a dearth of strong and good, particularly father role models on screen at the moment. I just don't think it's a zero-sum game. You don't need it to be the case that having a lesbian kissing on screen comes at the exclusion of a good father. Ideally,
Right.
you can and should have both. I haven't seen
Yes.
this film, so I don't know whether this film does that. The only reason I could have a problem with this if it does come at the exclusion of father figures, which I think are important, and we need more of them. It's just again, people are finding it a little bit too easy to, I think, push back on this without necessarily asking whether they should be pushing back on every single
Well,
instance of it.
I'm kind of thinking it's Buzz Lightyear.
Mm.
I'm looking at this picture now. Is it necessary to the story? I'm thinking no.
It probably isn't. But
That's the whole point of why people don't want it.
but that's what I'm saying. I think it's a detriment. It's coming to a point where now you can't see representation of a family that consists of a man, a woman, and children. Now you don't see that, and that's the saying. Kids that watch this stuff, this is what they're showing them. So what are kids going to be brought up? What were they going to think growing up about fathers? And it's quite dangerous, actually. As I said to you in the beginning of this stream, it's very dangerous what they're doing. If they don't represent both sides of the coin, then what they're doing is trying to push an agenda and trying to push the other side out completely. And that's what I disagree with. As I said, I don't disagree with the whole gay thing, the people that are gay in TV shows, lesbian kiss, none of that. But what I want is a good representation of both sides. But it doesn't seem that's...
Yeah, but the left doesn't allow that.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. It doesn't seem that that's what's happening now in adverts, in TV, in film. Do you know what I mean? And it's what's our kids going to be taught?
Well,
you know,
Ian, when you and I were growing up, and Matt Swappers as well, in the 70s and 80s, the left was something totally different. Whereas now it's gone even more left.
I was listen, guys, this is so funny. I was in the cinema, right? We were going to watch Maverick, and I take my mum to the cinema. My mum loves the cinema. So I said, I'll come see this film. It's got Tom Cruise in it. She goes, okay. So we went to the cinema, and they played this advert. So it was two women in the car, and one woman was pregnant. And she was going, drive faster, drive faster. And it turns out, obviously, that she's her partner. And my mum just went, she was in the cinema, like, it was quite full. My mum went, what? Halfway through the ad, everybody just looked at me. I was like, oh, God. I put my hand in my head. I was like, thinking to myself, oh, my God, what's Mum going to say? I was like, Mum, calm down, calm down. She goes, but where's the husband? I was like, oh. So, you know what I mean? I mean, I was hilarious, absolutely hilarious. But, that's the thing, you see, isn't it? They're not representing both sides of the coin, which is just... It's
Time Profits says Buzz Lightyear banned in 14 countries.
Really?
And I have a feeling China is one of them, and so that's the one of the ways in which this can actually still be put to good use or reveal something quite good, because I think China again asked them to remove this scene, and they basically turned around and said no, fuck off, which is 2 or 3 times in a row. And they did it with Top Gun, they did it with No Way Home. The fact that you can use lesbians against the Chinese communists, and I'm all for that. Up the lesbians in that case. And if
Oh, yes,
studios
please.
are now starting to turn to Chinese Communist Party and say no, fuck you, that is a very good thing, because that's sort of one of the great uncovered sort of scandal of modern culture, I think.
There you go. Israeli banned it too.
Yeah, that's not entirely surprising.
But the thing is, though, as I said, I'm obviously Ben is coming from his religious point of view, and that's fine. That's fine because everybody has their point of view. But as I said, I have nothing against this lesbian kiss, nothing against the way this is represented on screen. But as I said,
it's just not necessary to the story.
Well, yes, but as I said, right, Disney and all these channels have to represent both sides, and it doesn't seem that that's what they're doing at all. So
no.
Anyway,
represent both sides in fairness. But
yeah, exactly.
Oh, here you go.
You know what? I don't know much about this, but you know what? I remember Dan said to me that there's a lot of interest. Doctor Who's not dead. You would not believe how much interest that they have. Actually, I said this to Gary when I was there as well, and I said the only reason why it's getting interest because it's got David Tennant in it. We're not talking about Shooty. We're talking about David Tennant, and that's why loads of people are coming back to Doctor Who because they want to see David Tennant again.
And that's it. I know they should have just brought him back.
And so it remains to be seen once that this episode is gone, will the interest come back on Doctor Who? I guess that's what they're hoping because they're using David Tennant to actually push popularity on the show again.
They should have just brought him back.
But
I said that. I don't know why they just didn't. They should have had him. There's no law saying he can't regenerate into a same body. Is there? Same appearance?
I don't. You know what? It's not my show anymore. Just let them do what they want to do. If they're happy with it, then
But you'll be watching this, though, won't you?
I watched this, yes, but I've got the feeling. I just hope they don't put the politics in there.
But you're supporting this by watching it.
No, I'm supporting this one because it's got nothing to do with the real show itself, has it? This is completely different.
I know, mate, I'm fucking with you. I know.
So, but the thing is, though, as I said, it's interesting how everyone that's being cast apart from David Tennant and Catherine Tate has some sort of, they're either gay or trans or whatever. It's just, apart from Bernard Cribbins, of course. But yeah, it's just.
I get the feeling everybody's going to watch it, the 60th, possibly watch the Shooty episode, and then go, fuck that. Anyway.
Yeah. Marty!
This week, a near perfect VHS copy of Back to the Future VHS, $75,000. Apparently,
wow.
Apparently, original VHS are big business at the moment. The only problem is there's no VHS players around to play them.
I've got one. I'm looking at it right now. I've got a VHS
I have one
player.
too.
Yeah.
But
I'm never going to shut my VHS one out.
Who's got $75,000 just throw for a tape?
Do you know what? You know who will have $75,000 if he keeps going? That's Lord. The Lord. If he keeps going, he's going to have that money.
That's so true.
I can dream.
Any day now.
It's going to happen, mate. It's going to happen. Great Scott!
Yeah, that's so much money for a VHS tape. I don't understand it, but
you know what, right? I think people are beginning to realize that these things are generally good stuff and worth a lot. VHS, even though the picture was crap, it's still the idea of holding a VHS of one of your favorite films.
Physical media.
Yeah. I've still got
the original physical.
I've still got Raiders of the Lost Ark on VHS. I've still got the box set.
It's a guaranteed way that nobody at, say, Disney can go in and just wreck the thing with new additions or cut it or remastering. There's an old South Park episode where to try and stop George Lucas and Steven Spielberg from wrecking Indiana Jones, they try and break in and steal the original copy just to stop them from doing it. So there's actually a good sort of sensible reason to own physical copies of media anyway, because it makes it much harder for them to.
Franco's got 4 VHSs, one's got a DVD. Yeah, we've got one as well, mate.
I've got one with it's upstairs, the DVD VHS
yeah.
player.
Time
Yeah.
Profit, I got the Star Wars trilogy on VHS. If that's
Yeah,
the
me
original,
too.
wow.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
Wow.
Better hold on to it.
Yep. That's it. I
Who's
test
there?
at the end. Please
Yeah.
consider donating, subscribing, press buttons, like, share, subscribe, tell your friends. Let's get some subs going. Done relatively well on the subs. So I think that's it. I will say, chat, wonderful as per usual. Such an honor for you guys to pop in end of the week and share an hour and 3/4 with us, bringing your A game as you normally do. So I will thank the normal crew. Cheers, boys. I will also thank the guests from the bottom upwards. Matt Cat, you're wonderful.
Ooh.
Thank you.
You're wonderful. Thank you for having me.
The grumpy mega geek. Cheers, Ian.
I will dispute that. I'm very happy. No worries, guys.
Good to have your grumpiness back. Thank you, my friend.
I'm old.
We all are, mate. Swappers.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brown. Good to have the chat on. Always a pleasure to do these shows, and I'm just hoping we'll have more Darth Walkhead next week.
I will say, going back quickly to the Obi-Wan, there has been a highlight, and that's the Inquisitor Walk. He's our adopted mascot for the show. He wasn't even in last week's, but anyway.
No.
And last but by no means least, here he is, boys and girls. He managed to bat through. He's a true professional. It's the Lord COVID himself, Lord Chod.
Thank you, but honestly, it feels like my tonsils have taken more of a beating than the tonsils of a porn star at this point. But it's been very enjoyable.
We need you fighting fit for Wednesday, my friend.
I'll just get the whiskey, and if it comes to that, it'll be fine.
Oh, good man. Okay,
Whiskey.
I think that is it. We are back. Last episode of Obi-Wank Wednesday.
Yeah, I won't be here.
I think that will be about 10 p.m, maybe a little bit after UK GMT +1. I think that's it. Cheers, everybody.
Thank
Take
you.
care. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.
See you later.
Bye.